Man, I honestly, it's hard to believe that this is finally here, that this new facility is about 2 weeks away from opening. We've been here in Allen since 2019, and I got the chance to be here when we opened it and work in this office ever since. And man, it's just crazy to think about the number of people we've gotten the chance to treat. Kind of the impact that we've had the opportunity to make in the community, and we're really looking forward to expanding that. I mean, we're moving into this space, and it's double what our current space is. So, I mean, it's a blessing. It's a just bittersweet opportunity. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into making this happen, and so, man, we couldn't be more excited to be heading this direction. So I think just the new space. I think just man, like it's going to provide opportunities for us to just expand, what we can do for the community and the ways that we can serve. We got to treat thousands of people at that old office, and moving into this space, man, who knows what that'll turn into, and the partnerships that'll be built, and the lives that'll be changed, the knees and shoulders and hips that'll be saved. Yeah, I mean, man, opening a new facility does bring a lot of challenges, and on one hand, it's exciting to think about all the space that you have and, what you can do with it, and on the other hand, it seems like the space gets filled up really quick, and you're like, man, so just trying to be very strategic of how we roll this out, how we lay things out to just maximize the services we can provide, maximize the people we can serve, and we want it to feel comfortable. We want it to be a space that people enjoy coming to. We want it to be a space that, healing can happen, really. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we're here for. So, getting the chance to have different partnerships in the community that, can kind of come to this centralized spot is, man, so exciting, so exciting. I mean, we're super excited to get the chance to upgrade the space that we have here in Allen. We're just moving a half mile down the road, but we're doubling our facility size. We're going to have turf. We're adding a lot of exciting things like infrared sauna. We're still going to have the cryo chamber. We're going to have a lot more space for it. We're still going to have NormaTech and just the whole recovery side. But it's now, instead of a recovery room, it's a recovery suite. So super excited about that. And I think just in general, we've gotten the chance to serve the Allen community since 2019, and we've gotten the opportunity to treat thousands of patients. And I think there's been a lot of good stories and a lot of good things that have come from that. But this new facility, we're really hoping to expand some of our community partnerships and a lot of the things that we're able to provide from a service perspective, and that is very, very exciting. I mean, especially when you put it in perspective, going through COVID back in 2020, and we were still a relatively new clinic and facility, and I know that was really tough for a lot of business. It was tough for us, and getting to still treat people through that time and survive and continue on to be here where we are today is 2 weeks away from opening this new spot is pretty crazy. So we started cryotherapy in 2022, and really we made it work with the best that we could. But that service and the recovery services as a whole have grown so much. I mean, there's a lot of demand for the recovery services. So we have the cryo chamber, we have the NormaTech compression boots, we have that for the arms and hips as well. Venom is a part of NormaTech, and it's heat and massage for different parts of the body: low back, shoulder, knee, hip, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have an infrared sauna, which is something we haven't offered before in Allen. And then, just the massage chair, all the other feel-good things that we've always had, like a traction bed, electrical stimulation, heat and cold therapies, all that kind of stuff. But we really wanted, again, the demand for those services is high. I mean, a lot of people want to just, maybe they're scared of chiropractic, maybe they don't want to do physical therapy. So those recovery services are a great way for people to just get in, get some things that are helping them feel better, and just have a routine of taking care of your body and taking care of yourself. That goes a long way. And then on the physical therapy side, our current space, it's a nice facility. There's nothing to be ashamed of that facility, but we're ready to upgrade that space so we can see more patients and help more people. And same thing for the chiropractic side. I mean, it's there's a lot of people out there who they want the quick get in and out chiropractic, and being able to serve that community as well is important to us. So you can't be everything to everyone, but we listened to what the community said and the feedback that they have and what they want, and that was really the mindset and the thought process of this new facility, is being able to offer those services and being able to offer them at an adequate volume. I really think there's, and it really is getting better, but I do think there's a lot of misconceptions about what chiropractic is, about what physical therapy really is. And there's a big portion of the medical community that is a big fan of physical therapy, and they really aren't fans of chiropractic, and same thing with the recovery, the cryotherapy and some of the other recovery services. Some people aren't big believers in that, or maybe there's a lot of misconceptions about that. And so, we really try to kind of offer different easy entry points for people to, at the end of the day, we really believe all of these things are helpful to you, and they're going to be helpful for you. So, just coming in and giving things a try. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of low-cost options to just get you in and allow you to try things out. Like we've really built our practices across Collin County that way, where it's low commitment, easy going. Just hey, come in and experience the difference. Come in, feel the difference, and see what you think from there. And so from there you can explore the options of what we have. And like I said, we work really hard at listening to feedback and being able to offer options that can be beneficial for the different things that people want. And again, you can't be everything to everyone, but you can cater to the community that you live and work in, and that's what we try to do. It's interesting. I think when people ask about specific patient stories that stand out, it is kind of a hard question, because I do feel like there are a lot of them, and they mean physical therapy, chiropractic, what we provide, it can mean different things to different people, So there are definitely people who I've treated, who our facility has treated, where they're in some very severe acute pain. And I actually remember back in COVID, the hospitals were not taking as many patients on. And so there was a lot of people who were maybe in a lot of pain that traditionally they would go to some ER somewhere, but that wasn't really an option. And so we saw a lot more people coming in with very severe acute pain, and man, it's crazy to see over the span of a few days, a few treatment sessions, just the difference as that tissue starts to calm down, the muscle starts to relax, loosen up, and just that pain starts to really decrease, at least. Like if you're in a level 8, 9, 10 pain, and you just bring that down to a 5, I mean, you feel like a whole new person. Now, it's still a 5, so there's still more work to do. There's still more treatment that we can do and work to be done. But, seeing that jump, especially I can remember several times around COVID where, like I said, a lot of people just didn't have access to all the healthcare facilities. They were all booked up with COVID patients and different kinds of patients on that end. So, we had a lot more just kind of severe acute pain that came through. And, so that was one thing. It was a blessing to be able to be open and stay open during and through COVID. I know that was a challenge for a lot of businesses, and so we're very grateful for that. But at the same time, there's a whole lot of ways I feel like we've gotten to serve the communities, and the Allen community specifically. There's a lot of stories from the athlete who is coming back from a surgery and they feel like very apprehensive, like they're never going to get to be the same athlete again. We've had a lot of stories of that. We've had a lot of stories of, patients who, maybe they sit at a desk and, they have a lot of neck or back pain from that. And, they're just like, dude, I just want to be able to work and finish work and not be in pain, And I feel like it's a very fair want in life. So, things like that, it's really everything in between. I can say another big one is we've had quite a few patients who have come in and weight has been an issue. I wouldn't say we're weight loss specialists or anything like that, but a big part of our job and what we do is, we do want to help you make lifestyle changes that's going to help your knees and your back and your hips and all those things. And, so one of those kind of aspects of that may be your weight. If you're carrying a little bit too much, that's a little bit more in your joints. And, it's one thing for a doctor or somebody to say like, oh, you need to lose weight. And maybe that, but, having people come in here and trying to create this environment where they feel safe, they're listened to, where you matter as a person, I think that really opens up the door for change to happen for you in your life. And that's huge. I think this new facility will be a big avenue for people for all sorts of things like that. Simply put, I think a big way we stand out is the fact that we're able to offer, different services and specialties under the same roof. The cryo chamber and recovery services, you can go to a place that just does that. There's a lot of chiropractors around. There's a lot of physical therapy places around. Not many. There are some. There's not many that have chiropractic and physical therapy together, but I know of very, very few. That have. Honestly, I don't think I can name one that has cryotherapy, recovery services, a whole recovery suite, plus chiropractic, x-rays in-house, plus physical therapy. We're super excited to have turf and, the opportunity to, we're going to have a lot of new equipment in here, so the opportunity to cater to the athletes and the everyday person and the weekend warrior and all sorts of people. So, I think just having all those services under one roof, we're able to offer as a business a little better value for some of those things. We do take pretty much all insurances, and then there's cash options as well. So, again, I think having an easy entry point for a lot of patients is a big deal. And then I think the other thing too is just like I said, the environment you try to create as a clinic. Physical therapy and chiropractic. Some of these things can be scary to people, whether that's from past experiences, whether that's from social media and the internet, and they think they have cancer or whatever it may be. So just kind of having a staff in an environment where, it is a little bit more intimate. We're talking about some very serious things about your health and your life and your goals. One thing we love to say is that your goals are our goals. If you want to get back to running, you want to get back to playing slow pitch softball, you want to get back to, whatever it is, then that's our goal too. That's our goal to help get you there. And I think that, there's still a lot of clinicians and providers out there that will kind of say, hey, you may never run again or whatever it is. And we're big believers in just trying to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen. Corey Penfold with Chiro PT Concepts. Super excited to open this new Allen facility here in about 2 weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And always remember, movement is medicine, so hope you get the chance to get out and move today.